Welcome everybody to the Gitty Gang Show here at CB Gitty. We got a great show lined up for you today. Of course, I'm Ben Gitty, and we got Glenn Watt and Farley Andreessen here. We got Mr. Nick over there behind the computer making all the magic happen in his Viking helmet. So it's going to be a good show for you today. We're going to be announcing the winners of last week's giveaway, the 3 amplifiers that we gave out for sharing this video publicly on Facebook. Gets you entered in that. We've got some how-to information, Kanjo segment, a nice video about songwriting from Shane Spiel, and much more. But first, it's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. And we're coming to you live from CB Gitty. Well, we're coming to you every Friday at 2. Yeah, we're coming to you live every Friday afternoon at 2. If you don't tune in, well, you know we're gonna miss you. But it's the Gitty Gang Show. It's the Gitty Gang Show. It's the Gitty Gang Show. Gitty Gang Show. It's the Gitty Gang Show. Gitty Gang Show. It's the Gitty Gang Show. Gitty Gang Show. It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. Woo! All right. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in on this fine Friday afternoon. And remember, share this video, share this post publicly on your Facebook timeline, and you will be entered in the giveaway contest that we'll be talking about a little bit more in just a few minutes. Yeah, buddy. So, speaking of giveaways, speaking of prizes, last week we gave away 3 handmade cigar box amplifiers. Chose the winners randomly from all of the people who publicly shared last week's video on Facebook. And the reason we keep saying publicly share it, that's because if you don't choose that little public drop down when sharing, we can't see that you've shared it and you won't be entered. So, the 3 winners, drum roll please. All right. Winner number 1 was Matthew Simpson. Matthew is a longtime friend. He's out there almost every time we go live. So Matthew won one of those amplifiers, and we know he will put it to good use there at the Magic Daddy's Cigar Box Guitar Works up there in Montana where he lives. The second winner was Nathan J. Roberts of Joplin, Missouri, whose name was chosen randomly. And I keep repeating that it was entirely random, because that's going to become important next when we say that the third winner was Mr. Rob Wrobel of Rob's CBGs down in Destin, Florida, won one of the amplifiers. And the reason I say it was entirely random choice was that we're actually doing a little feature on Rob's guitars today, and I saw his name come up and I was like, oh man, they're gonna think this is rigged. It's not. That's proof that it's Google's not random number generator chose Rob Wrobel. So congratulations to all of the winners, and remember, this week, what are we giving away? What are we giving away? We're giving this away this week. This is a one-of-a-kind prototype 3-string 19-inch scale cigar box guitar. Farley, you made the neck, fretboard with the nice Paduk inlays there. This was one of the earlier prototypes perfecting the design for our bolt-on neck style decal box guitars. So this one, we've all signed the back. I've written on there that it was a one-of-a-kind prototype as of July 10th, 2017. It was the 3rd prototype in this series. So one of the people who shares, one of the people who publicly shares this video between now and this coming Wednesday will win this guitar. We'll be shipping it out anywhere in the world. We will ship this for free to the winner. So again, thank you for watching. Now, we mentioned Rob Wrobel, and he's been a good friend of ours for a long while, a great customer of CB Gitty, and an active participant in the Cigar Box Nation community and the cigar box guitar community. He builds some amazing instruments, high level of detail and just thought and care that goes into what he builds, and of course they sound amazing, incredible. So we got two new, and this is part of our Masterworks series of guitars that we're now carrying at CB Gitty. The best builders and their best work we're bringing in and putting in front of the world on cbgitty.com. We've started with 5 builders. It's a very limited access thing. I know a lot of people have asked, hey, can I get in on that? We've started with 5. I'm going to see where it goes from there, possibly expand. There'll be an application process and all that. So I don't want to say too much because we've got a video here from yesterday when a box with 2 of Rob's guitars in it arrived here at Gitty, and it's always an exciting time when a package like that arrives. So here's a little look behind the scenes at us unboxing 2 Rob Wrobel guitars. Ben Gitty and Nick here today. We've got something cool to show you, part of our new Masterworks series at CB Gitty, where we are offering some of the best cigar box guitar builds from the best builders out there in the community. This just arrived here today. Nick's going to get going opening it up, from Rob Wrobel of Rob's CBGs down in Destin, Florida. If you haven't seen Rob's work, it's beautiful, it's amazing, and we've got 2 of them right here in this box, and we're so excited to see them. They will soon be, by the time you're watching this, these will be available on the CB Gitty website. Here we go. Oh, look at that, would you? Pull that out of there. Oh, there we go. Look at that. 3-string, open G. Look at that box.
It's a La Flor Dominicana Andalusian bowl box.
Needs to be tuned up. We always loosen it up a little bit for shipping. Got a soap bar pickup in there, hardtail bridge, volume and tone controls. Look at the detail up on the headstock here, where it has just that little bit of wood left on there to give it that little extra something. Oh, Andalusian bowl. And the other one we got here is a La Aroma de Cuba. Oh, there we go. Also 3-string with a snake oil mini humbucker. And look, he has these engraved with his Rob CBG logo. That's awesome.
Now these have paired woods, I believe. I can't remember which is which at the moment, but it's a 110-year-old mahogany.
This looks like mahogany here.
Mahogany, yep. So this one has the neck, and that one has the fretboard, and the other one is reclaimed hickory, 80-year-old hickory.
Nice.
On swapped in there.
So all of his hardwoods are reclaimed. Each one gets signed and numbered here on the back by Rob the builder. So just amazing, beautiful work. And I'll tell you, here at CB Gitty, we are so proud to be able to offer instruments of this level to you, to the world. Our Masterworks series, we're starting with 5 builders, and then we're going to be seeing how it goes and possibly expanding to have more builders. There'll be an application process to join what will always be a very small number of builders that we choose to be included in this special program. So thank you to Rob Wrobel, amazing work, exciting to get these listed on the site, and there'll be more good things to come. Well, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that little video of the unboxing. This is one of the guitars. This is the Andalusian bowl. Got plugged into a little amp back here. Just plays like, it's like butter. It's like butter. Really amazing work out of Rob Wrobel down there. We saw that Rob was tuned in. Welcome. And to all of you, Curtis Teed and John Nickel popped in there.
Keith Craig, Wade Costum Bader. Who else we got? Robert Johnston. Laurel, hey!
Laurel Caldwell. Wow, just way over in the Gitty packing department there.
It's always good to see you from you.
So thank you all for watching. Thank you for sharing this. And don't be afraid. You know, you got the like and and the love and those buttons, you can hit those multiple times, and we can see them going by on the screen. So if you like what you're seeing, hit those things a few times and let us know it. And what do we got next?
What do we have next?
I want to say a word in thanks for those of you who do watch. Last week's show was shared over 200 times and had over 11,000 views on Facebook. So we really appreciate it. We love seeing your thumbs up and everything go by. Matthew Simpson out there, one of our winners from last week's giveaway. Welcome. All right, so now we've got a little bit of how-to information, what we like to call the support corner, where we answer questions that have come in through the week or stuff that we just want to talk about. Last week, Glenn, you and Farley talked about rod pizzos, how to use them. Well, we had a little follow-up to that this week. You want to take the lead and say what we're doing here?
One of the concerns was that we have often a picture here that Nick is about to share, and that is when you insert the jack into the receptacle, the jack of a rod piezo into the receptacle end, you don't want to push too far in, because it will cut off the signal and the rod piezo won't work. So that when you're pushing in the jack into the receptacle, you only push to the point where you can feel it click and lock. And at that point, the circuit is activated and will work. You keep pushing, however, further in, you keep pushing that rod piezo into the receptacle, and the circuit will not work. So it's just something to keep in mind when you're using a rod piezo and a 2.5 millimeter receptacle in your harness for your cigar box guitar. Just push that the jack in only so far into the receptacle where it stops and it clicks. Push it further, and the circuit does get cut off.
The black shrink tubing that's on that little plug that's on the end of the lead, that's not necessarily the stop point. Often it's before that, and this advice applies to what you see on the screen there, which is a harness that we sell at CB Gitty. It also applies when you're putting it into a preamp. So always, you can have it actually hooked up to an amp and be testing as you're doing it to see where that contact point is, and then leave it there.
And that's a huge, wonderful piece of advice, is that always test something
before you just
go
glue a bunch. Test your
Lord.
electronics multiple times throughout the process. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Now we had another little how-to support sort of thing. Glenn, we have been on the CB Gitty Facebook page starting to post some notes. And what is a note?
It's like a blog post or an article that you'd find on any other news source. So we're just trying to provide that sort of information that's helpful and hopefully sometimes inspiring, through other than just pictures and text that you see posted. These notes are like little articles. And one of them that recently has been written by Ben Gitty Baker was the orientation of tuners.
How to properly mount tuners on a headstock guitar or cigar box guitar. Basically the old rule of brass gear pointing towards the box, not up towards the top of the headstock. So that article is on there. It's just one more place, one more way that we can get how-to information out to cigar box guitar and handmade instrument enthusiasts. And we've got Cigar Box Nation, cigarboxguitar.com, regular Facebook posts. These notes are just one more way. So check that out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, buddy. All right. Well.
And thank you very much, as always, for tuning in, because we know that your time is limited, and that you're choosing to spend it with us right now means the world to all of us involved.
Cool.
I mean, it's not, we'd rather not just stand up here and speak to an empty camera like that, so that you're out there, that you're participating, that you share, that you like, that you comment, that you interact with each other in the comment section is a huge thing for all of us. It means the world. I keep saying that, so thank you very much. It really means a lot to know that you're out there and you're paying attention. It's a good thing. It's a good feeling.
It is. We try to have fun up here. We hope you're having fun out there. We never want it to seem like it's some kind of major undertaking.
Major undertaking?
Nice. All right, so the next thing we've got lined up for you here is a video that Shane Spiel has put together this week. Shane and his band, The Snakes, have been in the studio, the recording studio, for the past 2 weeks. Today is the last day. Shane and the guys are there in the studio right now, putting the finishing touches and mastering touches on the new album. The theme of this video is songwriting. Some of Shane's tips for songwriting. If you've ever had some words in your head or a tune, he gives you some of his guidance on how to get that out onto paper and make music out of it. And what prompted this, he told me, is that being in the studio, finishing up this new album, he realized, hey, I'm going to need some new songs. So he's actually been writing some new songs while in the studio working on the current song. So give this a watch. Hopefully it will inspire some people to do some songwriting. So Farley, going to need you and Glenn, watch this, and maybe next week
we got
we'll
some
have
stuff.
Got stuff.
Might not be appropriate, but
Hey guys, it's Shane Spiel, and thank you for joining us here at Cigar Box Nation TV. I have been in the recording studio for the past 2 weeks. The album is mostly done, and we're hoping to have this new Shane Spiel and the Snakes album out by October. And everybody's been putting their nose to the grindstone, doing all the parts. We are super excited. In fact, it's probably the best album I've ever done. Just everything is falling into place. So I wanted to talk to you about songwriting. Instead of showing you licks and things, there's a couple things that I do to write songs that maybe will help you. Whenever I'm writing songs, I actually write the music and the lyrics separately, and I usually write the lyrics first. So I'll be sitting there and I'll be inspired, and I'll sit at my computer, and I always have a window open on the internet for rhymezone.com, RHYMEZONE.com, and it allows you to plug in a word, and it gives you every single word that rhymes with it. It's a great tool for when you're trying to write lyrics and trying to keep the rhymes going in the meter. So if you're good at lyric writing, there's a little tip for you. If not, find a friend that writes lyrics. Find someone that's a poet. But as I'm writing songs, what I will do is I will collect riffs, whether it be something like that, or what I was just playing. And I'll take that riff and I'll actually use my cell phone. I'll set up my cell phone and film it and collect these riffs. Well, then I take a riff and I start playing it over and over again, and I'll pull out all the lyrics that I have, any type of lyric, and I'll start singing, just making it up over top of the riff. And that's how I write music. If it's blues, it's simple. You just write blues lyrics and call them response lines. And come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Not mine, of course, Robert Johnson's, but you get the idea. But if it's a ballad or a different type of song, come up with riffs and then sing lyrics over top of it, any lyrics. If it works, put the two together. If it doesn't work, scrap it, put the riff aside, put the lyric aside. But that's all it is. You're taking two different ingredients, and that's how I do mine. And this riff, this pretty thing I'm working on right here, is a song that I'm trying to write for these sessions. I've been rewriting a whole bunch of lyrics all morning long, just so they go along with... something like that. So let's hope I get a song out of it. Either way, try that. Take some riffs, some cool guitar sounding things that you have invented, and mix them with words. And see if you can't come up with your own songs. Because that's the absolute greatest magic about cigar box guitars, is writing and playing your own music. So until next time, I have got to get back in the studio. My name is Shane Spiel. Thank you for watching Cigar Box Nation TV. See ya.
One.
All right. Thank you, Shane, for that awesome video. I'd like to hear from you guys if you have any tips for songwriting, like how you get your inspiration. Do you do the rhythm first and then write it? And if you could comment in the sections, that would be really helpful to us. Just because I don't even know how to write a song.
Well, we're working on it.
That would be awesome.
We are working on it.
Well, when we are reviewing this video broadcast here, you can see Shane's advice that he just gave. And
That's awesome.
I find, maybe Shane, I'm not sure how deep he went into this, but having an existing tune and putting words to it is a good way to get started. Or adding a verse onto a song you already know and love. I've done that for a few different songs, like King of the Road and some other ones, adding a verse on. Because sometimes I think a song doesn't say everything that it needs to say, so you got to add something on there. So now, you see Glenn Busy over here. He is putting together a Kanjo. You hear us talk a lot about Kanjos and post a lot about Kanjos, and you might wonder why. You might be thinking, ah, geez, here's another Kanjo out of these people. Why? Well, it's because we are excited about Kanjos because of how accessible they are, how easy they are to build and to play, especially for younger people. They're great for all ages, but especially for kids, a Kanjo is a great introductory instrument to get them interested in building their own DIY musical instruments, but also playing them, because it's so easy to get a tune out of a one-string Kanjo. So Glenn is over here assembling one of our CB Gitty Kanjo kits, and you can see a nice picture-in-picture up there of what he's doing. Mounting the can to the neck that comes pre-fretted, then he's going to be mounting the tuner, running the string up the neck, and by the time we get done talking, hopefully, he'll have this thing put together and we'll be ready to pick out a tune on it. Now, Kanjos, we sell them, or we provide them to schools. We're actually going to be building 50 Kanjos next weekend at a mini maker fair here in Dover, New Hampshire. They're wonderful little instruments, and we're working to create more resources related to Kanjos for Kanjos, both for educational purposes and, just in general, to raise awareness, raise Kanjo awareness. Recently put out a songbook through CB Gitty of 53 songs for the Kanjo tablature format that's easy to read, easy to play. Has some how to play information in there as well. I'm actually working on a second Kanjo book here. This is a rough draft, an early draft, of how to build your own Kanjo using a soup can and a stick of wood and a string. So we're all about Kanjos here at CB Gitty, and good progress being made over here on this side of the workbench.
Absolutely. I actually want to ask anybody, or everybody out there in the comments who is watching right now, and first of all, I have forgotten to say, Jim Burt, how you doing? It's good to see you. Danny Weddle, I got Daniel Holmes out there. I got Rick Flink and Brian Lehman. It's good to see every single one of you. Thank you very much for joining us. I do want to ask you, of those who are watching right now, live or otherwise, after this airs, who has built a Kanjo?
I know Jim Burt has.
Jim Burt has. And
Absolutely.
I oftentimes see guys that have built Kanjos and give them as gifts to their grandchildren, give them as gifts to their others, their spouses, whomever, and women as well have built them for their grandchildren and their spouses. But I want to know exactly who out there has built their own Kanjo, and
if you haven't, why not?
Why not? No, but where do you like to get your resources to learn how to play your Kanjo? What songs are you playing? Because again, not to oversell it, but Ben has put together his own, what is it now, 60-song songbook.
Yeah.
60-page, 53 songs, and there's a bunch of free Kanjo tablature on cigarboxguitar.com.
That we continually add to. Between Nick and Ben adding to this tablature at all times, it's really kind of neat stuff.
Jason Munoz says he's built one or two.
He has, as it turns out. All right, here we go.
Oh, he's tuning it up.
You got
This
it,
is
buddy.
happening.
I'm going to hand this off.
All right, then get ready. Get warmed up. I'm warming it up. Here it comes. Now, Kanjos, you can use all sorts of different cans. This uses a special tea-tin style can that we're able to get in bulk. But soup cans, oil cans, cookie tins, all sorts of good stuff can be used to make your one-string Kanjo.
That's right.
Woo, there it is. A little Irish there for you. A song that happens to be in this here songbook. I'll tell me ma. A Belfast skipping song, I believe I've been told it was, from Belfast, Ireland. So there you go. Glenn put that Kanjo kit together in, what, how many minutes was
2
that?
minutes? I don't know.
Yeah. Now, he had done a little bit of but not much. Just a little pre-drilling, so he didn't have to get into that on stage.
Right.
But it's a good thing.
Absolutely.
So don't scoff at the Kanjo. No scoffing. It's a wonderful thing. Keith Craig says he hasn't built one yet, but he's got an oatmeal tin that he's planning to use. Sounds
Awesome.
like a good plan.
Awesome.
I saw John Nickel chiming in out there that internet was sketchy at home, so he went for a drive or a walk or something to be able to get a better signal to see the show. So thanks for tuning in, John. You might like this next segment because as it happens, this is a portion of the show about John Nickel and the work he does. John has been an innovator in the cigar box guitar movement, an entrepreneur, having the first brick and mortar shop solely dedicated to cigar box guitars and homemade instruments down there in Huntsville, Alabama. He has come up with an innovative pickup, a single pole pickup that we're going to be talking about more. And he's a performing musician, touring, recording. We carry his CDs, his album here at CB Gitty. Just an all-around good guy. And part-time internet crusader, too. So here is a video of John demoing one of his favorite cigar box guitars that have one of these single pole magnetic pickups in them. And it'll talk a little bit in the video, which was actually recorded at the Summer NAMM show down in Nashville back in July of last year. So let's take a look at that, and then we'll talk a little bit more. John has only the bass pickup going there. See the little one-string pickup in the body right there. And that goes through an octave pedal that takes it low. So it's basically like a one-string bass he's playing there. And he brings the guitar back in. So that's John showing off that one-pole pickup and the different ways it can be used. You can see one on the screen there. It's a fairly simple concept, but with great, like most simple things, great power when used creatively. John will often have a second jack, output jack on a guitar that goes to a bass amp through an octave doubler. So as you heard in that video, you get that low bass line, then you can switch back. Great stuff. We have those on the CB Gitty site. Actually working with John to get another batch in because we're just about sold out. So great stuff, handmade artisan items that you can use on your handmade guitars. one of my favorite things to do is support and work with people like John and the builders in the Masterworks Series and Turkey Chicken out there making those smoking bridges, getting more of that unique handmade stuff into the Gitty lineup so that it can be more available to the world.
Saying hello to Rusty Taylor.
Yeah,
And Rusty was saying that John's going to be down at the Georgia Fest, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Rob himself, Rob Wrobel of Rob's Cigar Box Guitars, has built a screamer for John Nickel.
Yes.
Awesome stuff. And I see that Pat Riley's chiming in. Thank you, Pat. It's good to see you, by the way, up there in Michigan. And he's built a Kanjo for Sandy, lucky lady. And we got Scott Morrison, who had built a stand-up gas can single string.
They say from a gallon can?
Gallon can.
Wow. Can. You know, that's
awesome.
As that last video was playing, we had a short philosophical discussion of when does it stop being a Kanjo and become like a gut bucket?
Right.
So there's a point for discussion. All right, so
Hey, Henry Lohman, it's good to see you again.
Hank Lohman out there.
All right.
I know he'll be at the York Cigar Box Guitar Festival, which is coming up on August 26th. He's been there every year I have been, I think.
He's
Always
great,
good
too.
to see him.
Yep.
So thank you again for watching. Remember, share this video, share this post publicly on Facebook to be entered in our giveaway drawing for this week. We are giving away this prototype, one-of-a-kind, 3-string cigar box guitar featuring Van Gogh's Starry Night on there. We've all signed the back, and I've chicken scratched some random things on there. So one of you will be winning this. I saw some folks mentioning that they couldn't find how to share it publicly, or Facebook wasn't letting you share it publicly. So Facebook has a lot of settings. Here's a screenshot that shows where you should be able to select public. When you click the share link on Facebook, a box that looks like this should come up, and that little drop down should be there. If it isn't, I apologize. Facebook has a lot of settings.
It does.
So we do our best with it here. Next, we wanted to talk a little bit about the educational outreach work that we do, in which, Glenn, you are now heading up for CB Gitty, reaching out to teachers and educators all over the country and over the world, honestly, about building instruments with their students and getting kids to build their own instruments and make music on them.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that includes, as we were talking about it a little bit earlier, it also includes public workshops.
Yes.
So whether it be, you know, like my 5th grade teacher, who I would have loved if Mr. Emerson, you had introduced Kanjos into the classroom, that would have been great. Started me off a little bit sooner. Or if it's John over at the mill across the street, where he's building has a public workshop, and he's going to have 10 or 12 people coming in building cigar box guitar kits. So if you have an instance where you're going to be building something publicly, you're going to have multiple kits available for you. If you wish, you can contact us here. Be happy to help you through the education outreach program. And just as important, if you know an educator, if you yourself are one, Brian, I was talking to you earlier the other day, Michael, you know who I'm talking about. If you have any instances where you'd like to be introduced to our kits, to what it is that we can do with and for you, please let me know. Be happy to help you in any way that I can to provide you the resources so that you can introduce handmade musical instruments to your students. Because that would make, you know, everybody's life a little bit more magical,
really
a little bit more artful.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, we give discounts. CB Gitty gives discounts for people. You don't have to be a certified teacher. If you put together a public workshop teaching people how to build instruments, we will work with you to get you the parts and hardware as cheaply as we can to help make it a success. So email Glenn Watt about such things.
Don't have a graphic for you, but it would be GWATT, GWATT, at cbgitty.com.
That's it.
Yep.
All right, education. That's one of the reasons we're here.
That's right.
All right. I think we're to the section that we lovingly refer to as general announcements.
General announcements, Glenn.
All right, so we mentioned that most of the Gitty Gang is going to be at a mini maker fair in Dover, New Hampshire this coming weekend, August 26th. Our buddy Marty Tober's going to come down from Maine and join us. We're going to have Farley might stop by. Glenn's going to be there. I'm going to be there for at least part of the time. All sorts of people going to be there for it. It's the same day as the Pennsylvania Cigar Box Guitar Festival down in York, PA. So if you're near York, try to get over there. If you're anywhere in that section of the Mid-Atlantic of the United States, it's an awesome festival. Going to be some great acts on both the main stage outside and the Mr. Suit record stage inside. A lot of great music made on homemade instruments all day long. It's the 8th year? 7th year, one of those years. So that's August 26th. There will be some live broadcasting going on from that event, and we might do some live broadcasting from the Maker Faire as well. Other festivals coming up are the Georgia Cigar Box Guitar Festival in down there in Atlanta, Georgia, on September 9th, I believe, which is a special day for another person in this room. Our own Nick Lanciano getting married on September 9th. Woo! All right. Later in September, the Clarksdale International Cigar Box Guitar Festival down in Clarksdale, Mississippi. It's going to be an entire weekend now. It started off as one day, now it's a 3-day smorgasbord event, and they keep adding more stuff to it. Steve Harvey and Matthew Ritchie are doing an awesome job putting that together, getting it all lined up. CB Gitty is sponsoring it, helping to sponsor it. It's going to be a great show, September 22nd through the 24th, down there in Clarksdale, Mississippi. One of the hotbed home, one of the springboard points of blues and modern music like that. Yeah, it's good, gonna be wonderful. Later, a little later in September, the Republic of Texas Cigar Box Guitar Festival down in Albert, Texas. Gonna be on September 30th down there in Albert, Texas. So a lot of good stuff coming up. If you got a festival or an event that we didn't just mention, make sure to let us know so we can add it to the lineup. We'd love to do that because we can only report what we know. True. So I'm gonna just gently get my grab your axe.
What'd you say?
Grab your axe.
Okay, just checking.
That's with an X. One more reminder about this week's giveaway. Share this video publicly, and it doesn't have to be, even if you're watching it after the fact, after we've been live. This is archived on the Cigar Box Nation page. You can share it at any time up through Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. So, I think that's everything. Well, it's been the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. It's been the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. And we came to you live from CB Gitty. It's been the Gitty Gang Show. Gitty Gang Show. Been the Gitty Gang Show. Gitty Gang Show. It's the Gitty Gang Show. Gitty Gang Show. Been the Gitty Gang Show. Gitty Gang Show. It's been the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. All right, folks, until next week, keep on picking, build what you play, and play what you love.
All right.
All right, that's a wrap.
Nice job, everybody.
Thanks. Just a lot to step around here.
Hey, guys? Guys?